Hey everybody, it's Dina Rica with the Creativity Cave, and look at this card. Oh my gosh, I just love it so much. It makes me super happy. This card features the In Bloom bundle, which is in our January to June mini catalog, and there are both stamps and coordinating dies. So you can see the cover of, or the front of this card is all about the dies, and then the inside is all about the stamps. And oh my gosh, they're all so much fun. I can hardly stand it. So I can't wait to show you how I put this together and give you some really helpful tips along the way. So let's get started. Yay. Can you tell how excited about this I am? Oh, I just love it so much. So first off, this card features the True Love DSP, which is one of my favorites. Now, you know I love anything that's black and white because it gives me the opportunity to add a pop of color, which of course is what I did here today. So I'm going to make a slimline card. So I've started out with a 7 by 8.5 inch piece of paper. There's lots of sizes of slimline. You can kind of do whatever works for you. So this is what I'm going to do. I want to score this at 3.5, and I do like using my score blade versus trying to fold it over. You get a much better looking crease rather than a big wrinkly mess. So it's a nice crisp crease, which looks fantastic. Of course, I'm going to give that a shot with my bone folder to make sure everything is down just fine. All right, next up, I've got not one, but two pieces of 3.25 by 8.25 inch with white cardstock, basic white. And then I've cut a 3.25 by 8.5 piece of DSP as well. Now this piece you can see is actually the other half right here. So I cut it on the diagonal and I went about 1 inch down and then 1 inch here roughly, and just cut that across diagonally. And so I'm going to use the other piece for my card that I'm making in this video. Okay, so it's just a teeny bit different angle, but I mean, it's really just the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to start by adhering this to my card, and it is a chilly day today, so I've got my nice shawl on that I knit. So cute. By the way, here are the two mistakes that I made in this shawl right here. This row is wrong and this row is wrong, but the rest is pretty good. It's better at the beginning. If you're a knitter, you'll understand. Okay. So I'm just going to adhere this piece to my white layer of cardstock. And then I'm going to build my card from there. Okay, so that looks fantastic. Now, my first tip for you on making this card is to just die cut a bunch of pieces. So I picked my color scheme, which in this case was Mango Melody, of course, Coastal Cabana, Magenta Madness, and then I added some Poppy Parade. So I'm going to take these colors and I've just die cut a bunch of the different shapes out of each. So I basically took a quarter sheet of cardstock and I just die cut all that I could out of that piece. And then when I went to put this together, it actually was really quite easy because I just had all these pieces. Of course, I've got a bunch of leaves that I die cut out of Granny Apple Green because that looks so nice with these nice bright colors. And then I did a whole bunch of the smaller pieces for centers in black. As you can see, I'm kind of pulling in here. So I love the dies that are in this set. They're really wonderful. So what I'm going to do is basically start with a color. It doesn't matter which one, honestly. You can do whatever floats your boat, but you're just going to basically start putting down the flowers in whatever order you would like, and then go from there. So I've kind of got my pieces here. We'll add, let's see, this one. Oh, actually, I think I'm going to do this one. And then I'm just going to continue going down the row until I have all of the pieces that I want for this. I'm kind of going down in size as I go. So maybe, well, actually that one was probably good. We'll come back to this. So I'm just adding these as I go down. Let's see, my next color is going to be magenta. I'll do that one. And then I need, let's see, another Coastal Cabana, of course. Yes, please. And then I think I could probably even sneak in one more of these. Maybe we'll try this one. There we go. Okay, so I've got all of my flowers on here. Now I'm going to tuck in leaves. And a couple tips on this as well. So on this 5-leaf kind of branch, what I did is down here where there's smaller leaves, I'm just going to use the individual pieces. So I'm going to start kind of just snipping these off and tucking them in, and then we'll just kind of go up from there. So on these smaller flowers, I want to just tuck these in wherever it fits nicely, and whatever, branch part, we'll cover that up because we'll tuck it underneath the flower itself. So that looks good. And then we'll kind of keep going from there as our flowers get a little bit bigger. So maybe I'll even take these 2 off the stem and continue to add them in as our flowers kind of continue to grow. And we'll just stick these in, like I said, wherever they fit and look nice. Now we want to leave a little bit of room right here so that we can stamp our sentiment. And one of the things I love about this stamp set are the sentiments. There's great sentiments that are included in this set, which makes it so wonderful. And then we'll just keep adding these, and I love all the different leaves that are in here. Now I want to kind of try and make it so that my leaves are kind of going in different directions throughout the card. They're not all pointing in the same way, which is pretty easy to do. Okay, and then once you've got all of them laid out, don't worry if you bump it. It's gonna be okay. You laid it out like this once, it'll be all right. The other thing that you can do too, I've done this before, it's kind of helpful, is once you kind of have everything laid out, then you can actually take a picture with your phone. I'm shooting this video on my phone right now, so I can't, but if you take a picture with your phone and then if you dump everything, you can get back to what it looked like originally. That's just a little tip for you. So I'm gonna take these little black center pieces and place them on the different flowers as desired. There's really no real rhyme or reason to any of it. Just put the pieces in that you like in the places that you like. So it's pretty simple. There's, like I said, no hard and fast rules about how to do this. We'll take a smaller one of these centers right there. And then there's this cute little one that can go right there. And maybe, actually, I might put that one on here, and then we'll just put a dot in the center of this one. We're also going to embellish with some matte black dots. These are in back order right now, but they will be in shortly. And matte black dots are like the best thing ever. You get like a gazillion on a sheet, so they last quite a while. And then I'm just going to place a dot in the center of each of, well, almost all of them, not quite. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'll take and put a big one right there and a small one here. We'll skip this one because it's just kind of plain, and I think it looks just fine like that. Put one right there. We'll skip these 2. Here we'll just put a plain dot and then one more right here. So really fun. Now we're going to take and adhere all these layers together. I'm using my Take Your Pick tool, and that's a really great tool for this process because we're going to use a bunch of glue dots. So I'm literally going to pick this up and take it and place it back down into the center of this flower, And there we're off. Yay. Oh my goodness. This just makes me, the colors are just so fun and happy. I think you could get an equally beautiful result if you used pastel colors on this with this black and white paper, or even just focused on one color. Any of those things would be just stunning. I think I love the detail in these dies with all the little dots that are included. They just did such a great job. And my favorite part is that they all just pop right out. There's no trouble with, you know, the pieces sticking or anything like that. They're just gorgeous. Oops, that one's kind of on its own, and then we'll stick that one down like so. Okay, now we're going to go back to the beginning and then start adhering these pieces down. And again, they're not going to be exactly perfect. Don't worry if they're not exactly where you had them originally. It's just to give you kind of an idea. Now, I love to just give a little bit of curl to things. So I'm going to place that one down, and then we'll start adding in our leaves. Now, I do find it's helpful to tack the leaves down as you're going with the flowers. That way, things don't shift too much as you go down, and then you either run out of room or you've got too much room or whatever. Okay, so we've got this one. Now this is a big one. So I'm actually going to put 2 glue dots on here. That will actually give it a little bit of lift. And, but I didn't want to give it the lift of, like, say a full dimensional. That would have been too much lift, if you know what I mean. So we're just going to tack that one down. And then you've got this nice, great big leaf that goes so perfectly with this larger flower. And we'll just put that right there. And then we'll go on to our next flower right here. And what I'm really trying to do is make sure that I'm covering that border up between the DSP and the white. I just think it looks great to have that border covered. And we'll keep on going. Now, the other thing I'm doing that you can probably see is I'm tucking the flower in underneath so that there's overlap between each of them, not just placing it right on top. I kind of like that they're getting tucked in underneath, and I think that looks nice. Okay. We'll tuck another leaf right there. Oh, isn't this just amazing? Oh my gosh, I just love it so much. Okay, we've kind of gotten away from curling our leaves or our petals. So we'll do that here once again. And I wanted to tuck that one in. Oh, and I just think it looks better when you tuck it for whatever reason. I don't know. Okay. And I think this one needs to go next. Hopefully I'm sticking with my pattern. Oh, I gotta do my Coastal Cabana next. I'll place this one right here. And finally this one right here. Again, kind of tucking as I go. Now, of course, we'll finish off the rest of those leaves. Just wanted to make sure I got everything in where I wanted. And we'll curl away the day. Oops, I'm going to cover. No, that's right. I've got this larger leaf. Let's see if we can, is that one tucked in? Yes, it sure is. Let's see if we can poke that one in right there. And then we'll tuck this one in. Sometimes if you can't get your nail under there, you can take your pick tool. It's just so handy. Okay, and then I've got my last 2 leaves. That's good, nothing else fell out. It's always reassuring. Okay, and I'm going to tuck these 2 in together and place them in right there. And oh my gosh, look at how amazing that looks. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, now to finish this last part up, I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I'm going to use some Stays On ink because I really want it nice, intense, vibrant black. I love the sentiments in this set. They're so awesome. And this one says, "Congrats, you're so fancy now." And if that is not like the best sentiment ever, I don't know what could be. So that looks fantastic. I'm also going to come back to my black here in just a moment, but I'm going to put the cap on in the meantime because this does, Stays On does dry out quite a bit faster than regular ink. What I want to do now is adhere this to my card. And so I'm just going to put some seal down. And then we'll center this up nicely onto our card, like so. Oh, happiness right there. Okay, that looks good. Now, of course, since this is a black card base, we will need to add in a white layer so we can write on it. And of course, that means it's perfect opportunity to do a little stamping. I've got a little scrap paper here to protect my work surface while I do my stamping. But what I did was basically take some of the solid images in this stamp set and the color combination that I've been working with, the same colors. So I've got Mango Melody, Poppy Parade, Magenta Madness, Coastal Cabana, and Granny Apple Green. So we're going to add those flowers, or those, yeah, flowers in. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to start with some Coastal Cabana, and I'm just going to stamp that flower right there. Then I'll just kind of continue to build and add these different flowers. And the idea is that I want to kind of overlap the flowers that I can, that will look okay with the ink overlapping, and then also leave a little space for some leaves to be added in and amongst these. And in fact, if you need to, add the leaves as you go. Sometimes if I don't, I kind of lose track of the leaves and then I'm out of room, and then that's no good either. Okay, so I'm going to take just one of the leaves and then I'll just tuck, one in here and maybe another in here. Okay, and then I'm going to continue adding flowers. All right, so I've got this larger one, and look, I can overlap that and it'll look awesome with the magenta. And then I'll take and add another one here in red. I'm using slightly different stamps, but that doesn't matter. And then we can, of course, tack in another leaf right there. We're going to continue down this side as well. So I'll do maybe another one of my Magenta Madness flowers. I'm going to turn it in a little different direction and then continue to overlap with these other flowers like so. Okay, that looks great. One more leaf, I think, will do the trick like that. All right, the next thing I want to do is add some little black accents to this. The other part that's fantastic with this stamp set is that there are these amazing center images that you can stamp inside the different flowers. And of course, those will look fantastic in our black Stays On. Another thing to mention is make sure your paper is dry. Sometimes, it takes a minute for that ink to kind of dry out, and we want to make sure it's nice and dry before we add in these black center pieces. Okay, so I've got a bunch of different centers. So I'm just going to open up my Stays On and we will start adding them in. So I've got one for right there. Let's see. These dots are adorable. Love, love, love this. Put this center in both of those. Then we've got these little blobbies We'll put that one right there and maybe over here. And then there's like smaller blobbies, and you're welcome for all of these technical terms that I'm sharing with you. That looks fantastic. Oh, smell the stays on. It's so good. And that is a really fun center to our card. So I'm going to put a little adhesive on this and add it to the inside. And then we are good to go. We can just back up, do a little happy dance at the amazing card, and then decide who is special enough to receive this baby. So cute. Now, I've done videos before showing you how to make envelopes for a slimline card, and I will link that to the video here. I'll put it at the very end so you can click on that. And then I'll show you another fun video that I've done with this. So if you have any questions, just holler, but I hope you loved this. Of course, make sure if you'd like to purchase any of these items, you can shop my online store. I've linked all the supplies that I've used in this video in the description of this, as well as my blog post where all the dimensions and everything are written as well. So happy stamping, my friends, and I hope you loved my card. If you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel right down here so you don't miss any awesome videos just like this one. Happy stamping, guys. Bye-bye.